Hello, this is the 14th lecture in the Semantic SEO course, and in this lecture we will talk about the article methodology. And in the last lecture we explained the logic behind the article methodology, what it does and why it is important, and for the future AI, generative AI, how we can actually leverage further. And as I said, the real winners will be coming from this column mainly, but at the same time it's coming from this area because this is harder to configure. If this section is wrong, if this section is wrong, or if this section is wrong, even if this section is correct, it doesn't mean that much after that point. So when you look at the methodology in this area, as I said, we start with a definition of the drinking water. First thing here is that you will need to define your most important predicate and your most important central entity with more details, more perspectives, and the highest level of scientificity or scientific approach compared to your competitors. If you are able to define your most important section in the knowledge base better than your competitors, you will always have higher relevance. The point here is basically, if a search engine sees the word drinking water or drinking water together in a search term, and if they get the definition from your source, they will be actually interpreting the query, and they will be reflecting or augmenting the query further based on your input. The same thing also happens inside the product search. If you are able to actually create better attribute definitions for certain types of products, let's say we are talking about electric scooters, and you will see batteries, battery range, or speed, and etc. If you are able to define these attributes in the best way, search engine will be getting these product attributes and their definitions from your source, which means that if another competitor doesn't use these words according to the true definitions, and in this case the true definition will be coming from the topical authoritative source, in this case, they will be losing the relevance. That's why we always try to give the best possible definition. So this section is really important. Then we give always the main benefit. And we here tell that scientific terms. If you don't know a topic, and as a semantic SEO, you don't need to know every topic, and there is no way of knowing all of them. So if you trust your PhD expert level of author, just tell scientific terms. If you believe that your author is not that much talented or knowledgeable on that domain, on that knowledge domain, then try to actually make a quick research or the search and tell the person that include these terms, and according to your research also try to use your own SEO knowledge to understand which term will be actually more important. But basically we need the main benefit. So the main benefit will be coming from the definition of the water one more time. That's why order of these things are important. If we put the definition of the water or drinking water to the first place, it means that the paragraph will start with that. Then we will go to the main benefit, then the main benefit physically, then the psychologically. So first we give the most representative answer, then we go with the supporting evidences. Then we give the nutritional value of water, and technically it's 0, but it has a nutritional function, like helping body to function or helping body to process any other nutrients that we have. But basically here, it doesn't have to exist. You can also tell that water doesn't have a nutritional value, and its real benefit or the real value comes from blah blah blah. And then we give the function for the body, which is connected to this section, and how many percent of the human body is water. So then we will need to give this answer. The thing here is that imagine that you give all these things, then you give this, then imagine that the semantic SEO started to ask the author that give also the female water percentage for the female body, water percentage for the male body, children, or the seniors. Then you would be diluting the context. You always need to be summative and a little bit less comprehensive in the introductory part. Our purpose here is giving main context, which comes from the first definition. Then we focus on certain type of an attribute. We define this activity or the process, then we give its main benefit, then we continue to focus on the benefit with more details, then we focus on the nutritional value, then the function for the body, then the percentage or the optimum percentage of water in the human body. But we don't go further for lexical relations here. Since this is the 14th lecture, I won't tell what lexical relations are. We don't go for hyponyms here like female or the male, because main context, macro context here is not the water percentage, it's the benefit. That's why we go deeper in this area. One more thing is, if you look at the order of these context terms in our macro context section, physical, psychological, nutritional. Physical, psychological, nutritional. Whatever we put here with a proper order, we follow the same order here too. Everything is planned. Nothing is random in semantic content networks. Everything will need to follow the order. If you look at my Saigon speech in a slide, I directly tell, create with order, unite with momentum. We will continue from the article methodology in the future lectures. Thank you.